What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and I am back so we can talk about this King interview with Nene Leaks real quick. And can I tell you something? She don't never accept accountability for nothing. Okay, but let's get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming with a force, yeah. Blessing the reap and we coursing on.
All right, y'all. So this entire interview, Carlos King is asking Nene questions about the current season, asking her about her time previously on The Real Housewives, and just her thoughts on some different situations as far as the show. Everything with Nene is, oh no, I don't think that this person was ever a star, or yeah, no one is better than me. Like Nene has this very she's very opinionated where she thinks that she's the best and everybody should just kiss her tail. That's exactly her entire demeanor. Like the interview started out with her talking about her relationship with her current boyfriend. Okay, now apparently they're on the oops right now. They're not currently claiming each other because she feels like he wants to be the star and nobody's going to be the star but her in her relationship. So basically both of them have big heads, and she said that he likes the spotlight just as much as she does, so that's not going to work for her. He basically probably time enough for her to put her in her place. He probably not sitting around listening to her talking trash. So then they also talked about when Greg was alive, God rest his soul, how Greg felt a certain way once Nene started making money. And Carlos asked Nene, did you throw, basically, did you throw it in his face or hold it over his head that you were making more money than him? And my thing is, Greg was taking care of her for all those years. She said, maybe I was getting a little too sassy or whatever, because I was making more money than him. And I'm like, okay, why does everybody need to know that you were making more money than Greg? Why? Why was that something that you needed to constantly communicate? And why is that something that you needed to make him understand that maybe now he got to bow down to your feet now or something? That's just really annoying to me about Nene. Like Nene really expects for everybody to do and say whatever she wants them to do and say. Her to remain loyal to her is to do whatever she wants you to do. They even talked about how Marlo and Cynthia, how people would say that Nene is controlling them. Like Nene was making, like, basically Nene was sunning them. And Nene said that she didn't like that people were saying that, and it wasn't true. It was true. You controlled Marlo and Cynthia. And she said she felt like Cynthia and Marlo would like come at her because they just didn't want the public to think that she was like controlling them or whatever the case may be. And I would too, because if I'm a grown woman and I know that I'm not letting this other female control me, you daggone right I'm going to make it evident that you're not controlling me. And then she talked about Cynthia and how Cynthia is definitely not the meek and mild person that people thought she was. Like Cynthia can read the girls down, and basically that Cynthia is very vocal, but Cynthia wasn't very vocal on the show like she was around Nene. And apparently Cynthia and Nene's relationship is over, according to her, because she felt like Cynthia was trying to stop her bag as much as that she said as much as Cynthia tried to say that Nene tried to stop her bag. Well, what would Carlos asked a very important question. What would it benefit Cynthia to stop you from being on the show? Nene, your ego stopped you from being on that show. Number one, people need to stop telling Nene that she's the anchor of the show. She's the one that kept the show going. This, that, and the third. It's not true. Now, in the beginning, was Nene the face of the Housewives? Absolutely, 100%. You think of Real Housewives, you think of Nene Leakes. But over time, Nene started to get big headed. And it was very unattractive. And it was very evident that she felt like that all the girls need to kiss the ring. And it's like that wasn't entertaining. And she said that everybody that comes on the show, they always wanted to, come for her. Everybody gotta come for the big dog. You know what I mean? That's what people do. But aren't you built for this? You built this house, right? Don't let nobody shatter it. I just feel like Nene is just too full of herself and she needs to humble herself something serious. And then for you to the balls that this lady has, it's really, really crazy to me. What's up, Jill? How you bees? Thank you so much for watching. I just don't understand the balls on this lady. Like, you sue the entire network. Now I can't wait to see this part two that Carlos. I don't know what it is. Like, is it a thing where people are just coming up with part one, part two, part three of all these videos? Like, child, y'all trying to edit one big old thing and then going on about your business and not have to do no content, and you got to keep you gonna upload the same one interview for 4 weeks, I guess. Child, whatever. But anyway, Carlos asked her, about Kenya, and if Kenya, she felt like Kenya was a star. She says, "Well, no, I didn't feel like Kenya was a star, and I never thought that she was going to be like the new face of the franchise. Like she never thought of Kenya being like the centerpiece of the franchise, right?" And I'm like, "Of course you don't, because you only see yourself as such. You're never going to see anybody else as that if that's what you want to be." Or that's what you in your head think. Her and Vicky Gumbelson have the same mindset that, oh, this is my show. I started this show. I. But what you don't remember is the show will not go on with just you. It's not the Nene Leak show. It's the Real Housewives of Atlanta, not the Nene Leak show. And Nene, if you were so amazing and so dope, you would have had your own show by now. They never gave you your own show except that special for your wedding, and that's it. And that was also only entertaining because you had other entertaining people around you. And I still don't understand why she's saying that she can never be friends with Cynthia again. I just don't get it. Like, Cynthia did not do anything to Nene. She says that Cynthia behind the scenes tried to do stuff to get her fired. And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense, because what would it benefit? Carlos, I'm so glad he said that. What would it benefit Cynthia for you to get fired? Mind you, Cynthia not even on the show no more. I think Nene was just mad because when she got fired or she was let go from the show, right? Or she decided to leave, I guess, to prove a point that y'all need me more than I need you. And Cynthia decided to stay on the show. I'm not going to stop working because you want to be a fool. Girl, bye. And I think Nene is upset with these women because they didn't join in on her little lawsuit with her. Now, I don't know what Bravo is doing behind the scenes and how they're treating them and this, that, and the third. But my thing is, if they were treating you so bad, Nene, you have said several times that you would go back to the show. So if it was so bad, why would you go back? Why does Candy continue to show up? Why do any of these women continue to do this? Because all of them are successful in their own right and can very well go and do other things. So what Nene needs to understand is people have allegiance to the show and their ability to make money, not allegiance to you. And it was all fun and games when people had alliances with her, but nobody can have an alliance outside of her. It's not your show, sis. It's not. And Carlos, stop telling everybody you love them. They're a star. They're so amazing. If Nene was such a star, she would be on another show and she would be a star. And he says, for a while, you were like the biggest female reality TV star, you know, all over the world. And he said at that time, she says, oh, to this day. And he said, well, Tammy Roman probably will have something else to say about that. And you bet your bippy, Tammy Roman is definitely a bigger star than freaking Nene Leakes. And Nene says, well, people recognize me, children, ladies, men, of all ages, everybody recognizes me. Yeah, and everybody always saying that when they can try to talk to you, you have an attitude problem too. So what are you talking about? You're not all that, Nene. You're not, okay? You're absolutely not. Tammy is on a syndicated TV show. She's on the Miss Pat show. She has her own show on BET. Tammy is an amazing actress. Tammy is doing things outside of Basketball Wives. I think people know Tammy more for the things that she's doing herself than the stuff that she was doing on Basketball Wives. That was an anchor, as Carlos keeps on calling you. That was her anchor to propel herself into other things. And Nene, it hasn't worked for you because you are a nasty individual. You have a nasty attitude, and allegedly, and a lot of people are saying that you're very rude. And I can see it because every time somebody brings somebody up, that person wasn't a star. Oh no. And she made it very clear that her and Candy saved Portia's job. Okay. Because Carlos even said that they were going to fire Portia after her first season. And they begged for Portia to stay because she, was going through a divorce and she needed to stay on the show. She needed the money. So her and Candy, did that for Portia. Okay, so how long is Portia supposed to be indebted to you? Because you said it like Portia is not kissing your tail enough. Let's be very clear. Portia is a star on that show in her own right. Her husband was trash. He crowded her and didn't allow her to show her real personality. Once she got from under his wing and she was on the show by herself, it's arguable that Portia was the lead of the show. She took it over. Underground Railroad and all. Okay? So Nene, you're not the star. You're not. And everybody that's like, oh, I love Nene. Go ahead and love her. That's great. But Nene is a selfish individual. She thinks that she is Genghis Khan, and she's not. The only way that her career will do better is if she humbles herself. Okay? Humble yourself. It's okay. You don't have to be the richest in the room. You don't have to put other people down because you're not the one that's the most successful in the room. And I believe that's Nene's problem with Candy because Candy has and always will have more money than her. It's a problem for her. She has to puppeteer everybody around her. And if she can't, if she's not the leader of the pack or she's not the one controlling everybody and all the pawns in the game, then she has a problem with you. She can never control Candy because she's a boss. She's a boss. And you can't be mad at Candy for the money that she's made before she came on this show because she was famous before she came on The Real Housewives. Candy is writing songs. Nene, you don't write songs. Candy is producing shows and movies. Nene, you don't do that either. She did that whole female comedic production, but then she said something about um, telling the woman that she hopes she gets raped by a Uber, a taxi driver or something. Some stuff that she said years ago, and that canceled that whole show because of her mouth. If somebody is not loving her and adoring her and kissing the ring, she has a problem. She cannot accept any constructive criticism. It's always about Nene. I could never be friends with somebody like that. I never could because that would really annoy the hell out of me. It really would. Like, why is it that you don't want to give anybody else props that was on the show with you? She said that Sheree was not interesting, and this, that, and the third. Sheree has made some funny little remarks on the show. Sheree has proven her piece of the pie on the show at times. Now, does Sheree need to be a full-time peach holder all the time? No, because she's not proving herself this season, or nor did she last season. Okay. Now, when she was on there with Nene and everybody in the first two seasons, yes, that was a good charade. I don't know what this $245 sweatshirt charade is doing, but that's another story for another day. But, child, listen, Nene is just a jealous hater. And Carlos is always sitting up here. He even did the interview with the man from uh the man from Love and Marriage Detroit. And I was like, boy, boo and bye to that Anthony guy. I will never watch that show. That show is trash. Okay. And Carlos sitting up here yucking it up, just having a good old time, like laughing at the fact that he has all these men on here that are so overly pigheaded and trifling to their wives, and talk to women like they treat women like they're nothing. And then you interview a Nene, which is like head bigger than the clouds. Child. Let's get into these comments. Jill George says Carlos is only doing it because it goes against Bravo. He thinks it makes him look good. Nene thinks she's God, sadly. She does. And child, she is scraping and surviving, I'm pretty sure. Yes, she is jealous, says B List. B List says, tell it. B List says, placating to Nene. Yeah, that's exactly what he was doing. Kay Hayes says, yes, Tammy was first and still working. Okay. Heavy on the steel. All right. Yes, she definitely is. Kay Hayes says she's on a couple of other black series too. Yes, she definitely is. She has her own show that she's the lead on BET. She's on the Miss Pat show. She's been in some movies recently. Yeah, Tammy is doing her thing. She has the Bonnet Chronicles. Like Nene didn't, and that's another thing. Tammy Roman changed her whole persona, that whole negative attitude that people thought she had. She laughed at herself and made a joke out of it and did the Bonnet Chronicles. Nene tried to do this little show where she had some gay guys come on set with her, and they supposed to just read people down, and that would have worked if it wasn't so much so she really wanted to try to get people that was going to kiss her tail to be on the show. She should have gotten some people that are allowed to disagree with her. She don't want nobody to disagree with her. And she don't want us to see that. We see where you get all your reads from, sis. You're not coming up with this stuff on your own. Stop. Kay Hayes says Andy's still begging Portia to come back. He absolutely is, because Portia is naturally funny. She is. And she's not problematic all the time. Now, Portia got a little Nene up in her too, because she thinks that everybody is supposed to live in this fantasy world right along with her. But that's just not real life. Portia has an issue with living in reality, right? Which is her reality, her real life. She don't like to deal with controversy, and if anybody disagrees with her, she has a problem. She has a big thing with her. That's her sister. Her and her sister's biggest issues. B List says controlling. Yes, Nene is definitely controlling. B List says Candy has multiple streams of income and product line. In my opinion, yes, Candy got it all. But Candy works so daggone much, child. That's another story. We talked about that in my last review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. B List says, "Tell it. Listen, I'm just saying what I'm just telling it like I feel it. Okay." I just feel like, but thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. I just feel like I really want somebody to tell Nene the truth. You think that you're going to come back and be on a show where you have sued the executive producer of the show and said that he was treating his nose? Are you kidding me? And you think they supposed to just be like, oh, well, Nene's such a star. She tried to ruin my reputation. You know what? It's Nene. Come on back. And we're going to pay you more than everybody on the show. How about that? Because you're so amazing. Okay? You can disrespect whoever the hell you want. And you can come right on. Come on. Here, take all of our coins because you're that amazing. You're Nene Leaks. Okay? You do whatever you want. That's not how it goes. Absolutely not. So, Nene, you are living in your boat. Okay? Living in it. Soak in it. Because at the end of the day, Nene needs to be brought down to reality. And I don't know if I don't know why people are so afraid to tell her that in interviews. It's like you got to pump her up, pump it up, and pump her head up, make her think that she is so amazing. She's above it all. She's better than everybody for her to even interview with you or for her to even stay put long enough. Like nobody can literally tell this lady the truth. I remember when she was on the show, none of her friends could tell her the truth. She didn't want to hear it. And as soon as somebody started telling her about herself, she want to leave the room. I don't want to see Nene Leaks back on the Housewives because this Nene Leaks right here, mm-mm. I want to see a humbled Nene. Now, is Nene hilarious? Is she funny? Does she provide good TV at times? Yes. But this person that she has become over even her Nene's last, I would say, Nene's last 4 to 5 seasons on the show were trash. Because once she got on that Donald Trump on Celebrity Apprentice, Nene thought she was the HBIC. And girl, no. I don't know who keeps on telling this lady that she is all that in a bag of chips, but she is not even the bag of chips with a clamp on it at this point. Girl, figure it out. You got to figure your life out. Maybe you need to. She said, I'll call Tammy. She knows what it is. You need to call Tammy and get some advice. That's what you need to call Tammy and do. Because Tammy is doing a damn thing and she's a damn good actress, too. Maybe you need to get an acting coach and try to do that. But they said that you be showing off on the sets, okay? Because allegedly they said that when you was on that singing show, you was showing it too. When you was coach, whatever. I believe Nene could have been a good actress. But where are we going to place her? You're tall, and what role are you going to play? She could have been on P Valley. I could have seen Nene doing a role on P Valley. I could see her doing a lot of different things, but her attitude sucks and it stinks. I don't know, y'all. I ain't got no more to say. I'm just tired of people kissing Nene's tail. I need somebody. Don't nobody interview her until y'all gonna tell this lady the truth because y'all got her out here living foul and false and phony. Okay, y'all all being phony and fake to her, and she's never going to grow and do better with herself if people keep on lying to this woman. She's never going to win because she always playing dirty. Okay, you tried to get Cynthia fired. You went on Watch What Happens Live and said that Cynthia was boring. Every time somebody disagrees with you, you want to try to take their bag away from them or you want to try to put them down if somebody don't agree with you. Child, I'm over it. Part 2 is next Tuesday on Carlos's show. That's when they talk about her suing Andy Cohen and Bravo. I'm gonna watch it for that, but outside of that, I don't really believe she gonna say nothing too different than what she said in this interview because it's all about Nene and nobody else. Thank y'all for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that watched that daggone stupid interview too. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.